Hello and happy Saturday! Yay! So hopefully you guys are having a wonderful Saturday wherever in the world you are. And today, few new books that I got. I've been tearing through some herbal books like crazy, like for herbal teas, herbal just medicine magic and healing medicine in the kitchen and all kinds of stuff. So just kind of want to share that with you guys today. And yeah, just have a bit of a ramble. So yeah, I'll just wait for you homies to come on in, and in the meantime I'm going to have some tea. And this is some of the that's good, panda tea that my friend Steph out in Belgium sent me. It's got like I think there's a little bit of like green tea in it, and cranberries and hawthorn and goji and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, tastes good. I should actually show you my mug. It's my Scooby-Doo mug. Anywho, so yeah, I'll just wait for you guys and be sipping on my tea. And like I said, I hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday, and hopefully the weather as well. I know homies in the southern hemisphere. Hey Allie, how are you? Thank you. I got this a long time ago. But hopefully the homies in the southern hemisphere aren't getting too cold as winter is getting in there. And for us, it's been a pretty, I don't want to say chill because it's not really been cold summer here in San Diego, but it's not been burning to the point where we're choking. So it's been warm, like 80 some degrees, maybe a day or two it was like 90 something to 100. But yeah, it's like, in the 80s. I like it. I got to work on my yard, my front yard. The backyard, that's for another time, but the front yard, I've been frolicking in the front yard. So I put down some ground cover where like the gophers had destroyed some of my plants, and I just kind of like mix the soil with is a little difficult. Hey Christina. Because it's mostly quartz and clay and granite, which doesn't make it the ideal growing conditions for plants. So if plants grow in our yard, it's because they have a will to live, and they got to really want it. So yeah, I mean, everything in our area should be low water. So everything's like low water, drought resistant, desert type plants. I mean, pretty, but desert. So a lot of our plants that we have up there are from Australia, because Australia has a somewhat similar climate, to here in San Diego, where it can get pretty hot. Well, at least here in East County, it can get pretty warm and pretty dry, and and then there are times where we have to like really cut back on our water usage. But I mean, we don't really use a whole lot of water at my house. I think our water bill is um, like what we use in water is $10 a month. But with all the fees and taxes, we pay like, I think like 25 or $30. So we use $10 in water, and then we get charged 15 to $20 in fees. It's like um so Christina says, Wally Deck, is there any way to get the PDF for it? Yes, you can. Actually, and that reminds me. So Christina, I'll answer you first. Email me, Tara at itwaitsandtarot.com, and I'll send you the PDF of the guidebook. But update, the decks have already shipped from my printer overseas, and they're on their way to me, all 500 Wally's World Oracle decks. I'm super excited. The boxes, because I had my printer take a picture of like the cards and the box and everything, and it looks the way I had pictured it in my mind, with the gilded edges and everything, and the cardstock is amazing. And I'm just like, whoo. So I had to pay the last 70% on the cards, because I had to put like the 30% deposit, and then now I paid the last 70. And then yeah, so I would say just less than a month maybe it'll make it here. And then I'm gonna start packing all the people that backed me on Kickstarter, and then after that, everybody who pre-ordered through my website, www.kittensweightsandtarot.com. And just like make sure that everything's correct. Everybody's I'm gonna print out the the addresses, like the USPS labeling, stuff from my computer. It's just easier that way. So that way I don't have to have like the post office go through every package. You could just get that one barcode and it just scans it for all of them. So they're all scanned in. So I'm gonna do that, make sure I fulfill everybody's tiers, everybody's, goodies and stuff that they get with their decks. Make sure I'm gonna do my little handwritten thank you notes, for everybody who's supported me on this. So I'm super excited about that. I'm like, oh my gosh, like my Wally decks are coming. So yeah, and I'm so glad, Christina, that you are enjoying the deck. Yeah, I can't wait to hold like the absolute like finished deck in my hands. And I'm gonna be reviewing my own deck. I'm like, this is a deck review of my deck. I am the creator of this deck. Oh my gosh, Cosmic Creeper, what's up? So I was just talking about my deck, and they're already on the way. Like they're already like making its way across the ocean to me. All those decks. I'm so excited. And actually I recently, as of yesterday, I just backed a couple of decks on Kickstarter. And there's one Cosmic Creeper I think you would really like. I was actually gonna post it on Instagram, and I was gonna tag you. Yeah. But it's the oh gosh, it's called the Obsidian. Yeah, Obsidian Oracle, Obsidian something Oracle. But basically it's kind of like black cards, that Maddie black card stock. And it's got a picture of an animal and either some type of crystal, plant life, and so it's very simple. And it's got, obviously the all black background because they're black cards. And it's gonna have the gilded edging, and they look amazing. So if you guys are really interested in animals and like earthy things like that, I think that would be a fabulous oracle deck. I don't believe there's any keywords or anything on the cards, so it's like 100% intuition. And if you work with animal magic and like animal medicine, I think that would be like wonderful, because you could then take all your knowledge of what you know about animals and animal medicine and then apply it to the card. And then what do you know about crystals and plants, me being like Miss Herby. Just call me the herbster. That would, that's got my heart right now. And I think there's 15 days left in that campaign, so just type in like Obsidian Oracle and I think it'll pop up. But Cosmic says, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. You know me so well. I need to sneak a peek. Yes, definitely, girl. Go check it out. But I backed the, I believe it's called Animal Magic Oracle, because there was just a couple of days left. And then the other one is also an Oracle deck. No, it's a tarot deck. It's the, was it the Spacious Tarot? I forget the name. I know I backed it though. I really liked it. Also very simple. I'm really liking some simplified decks as of late. Okay, so I want to share, oh yeah, Carrie Mallon's one. Yes, that one. Okay, so books. There are a few that I've already torn through. I love them, and I did a review of one. Well, yeah, I think that's how you spell her name, but I think if people typed it in Google, it would come up correctly. Like sometimes it likes like, did you mean? Yes, I did. But yeah, I did a book review actually yesterday of the Healing Herbal Teas. I'm looking at my bookcase, by the way. I'm looking at the books I read. I'm like, okay, so I did that one, and I have to do a review of 3 other books that I finished reading. One of them is the Green Wiccan Herbal. The Hedge Witch's Book of Days, and the Herbal Apothecary. And hey, Sherry Bug, what's up? And those books were actually recommended by Kelly Bear. She had like a three-part like series thing that she did on her channel. Basically, it was like all her herbally goodness books, and she was like just kind of recommending them. And so I was like, wish list, going in the cart, wish list. So I got all these books. Hey Cheryl. So yeah, I've already like, I'm just like rah, just like gobbling up these like herbal books. And one that I just started today is called Kitchen Medicine. And yes, it has one of those shiny covers because I like to buy secondhand. So most of my books there, plus it's so much cheaper, and I don't care if things are secondhand. Like I don't care if like some of the pages are a little musty. Like as long as I can read and as long as the pictures still look good, like I don't care. So this one actually came from, whose library did this come from? The Plymouth Public Library in Plymouth, Indiana. Hey, made all its way to California. So this one is pretty cool because it's going into, oh, there we go. So we got nice honeybee there. So it, you know, goes into all the different like ingredients you might have in your pantry, and then how you can use it for healing. Let's see, can I add something? I'm wondering if I could chat. Because I'm on my phone. I don't know if I can, like, chat. Okay, I'm going to spell it out for you, Christina, because I don't think, unless I'm on my computer, I can't type. So it's T-A-R-A. It's got a rhythm to it. Okay, so yeah, first part of the email, T as in Tom, A as in alpha, R as in radio, A as in alpha, and A-N-D, tarot, T-A-R-O-T. I almost spelled my own name again. Okay, so yeah, just email me. I'll be happy to send you the PDF. Yay, I'm so glad you are digging the deck. Oh yeah, so I was looking at honey in this book. I was looking at honey. So it gives you like a little bit of facts about, let's say if you know, obviously hopefully everybody's got like honey in their cabinet somewhere. It tells you a little bit about the honeybee. It tells you some backstory about like how it was used back in the day, and then how we can maybe use it now. It talks about the different ways we can use what bees help to produce for their colonies, for us, for themselves, and then how we can apply it to herbalism. So, you know, and it does that for a lot of your typical types of herbs. So it's not like, you know, something that's, I don't know, every time I think of something like crazy and far-fetched, I always think of Eye of Newt. Because I'm like, what is a newt? And why has this always been a thing when anybody's ever talked about like making something and boiling it together? It's like, I need an eye of newt. I'm like, what the hell is a newt? And why do you need its eye? But yeah, nothing in here is like crazy, gotta go like on Amazon Europe to find it or something like that. But you know, it's like there's parsley in here. I mean, people got parsley, rice. I got a ginormous like 50-pound bag of rice. He turned me into a newt. I got better. So, you know, I mean, no like household, especially like me growing up, because you know, grew up, we have like a 50-pound bag of rice. So good for a lot of things. Cheryl said, my uncle has had honeybees for years, and lucky me, I get fresh pure honey. Oh, you are so lucky. I have a friend of mine who lives out in Santee, which is like 15 minutes from me, 10-15 minutes, really not far. And like she has turned her whole like house and property into like a little mini farm. Actually, that's what she calls it. She like, you know, has her last name, you know, the mini farm. And she actually, her husband, for, it was like their anniversary, had gotten her you know, something to start doing, you know, stuff with bees. So now they have like all their like beehives and, you know, their bee boxes and everything. And he got her like a bee suit for her birthday. And she's like, nothing says love than like a bee suit. And so they produce tons of honey now. And so she sells, you know, honey from basically their yard. And so I've bought some honey from her. It is so good. So it's kind of nice when you have a friend that's like not too far away and you can get some honey. But they have a pig, they have a few cats, dogs. I think that we've got some like farm animals. They have tons and tons of like a garden like full of like herbs and foods, and her place is just like awesome. um, let's see. Sherrybug said, when I was in the Peace Corps in Mali, I went to visit a family out in the bush, and because it was such a long bike ride, after we sat down, they brought us a bowl of honey to eat for energy. Ooh, and the hippie therapist is here. Hello. Uh, you know, I used to carry Sherrybug those little like honey sticks that they have in plastic, because I like sometimes I have a really fast metabolism, and so I get hungry pretty quickly, but I can't eat a lot at once. I mean, some things I can eat a lot, like spinach fettuccine. Oh boy, I can eat like a lot. But other things I really can't. And so I just, you know, eat a little bit, and then like, you know, a couple hours later it's like I need to eat. But once I get past like 20 minutes of that feeling of I need to eat, like 20 minutes later, if I don't eat now, I'm like starting to feel faint, I'm getting dizzy. If I don't eat, I think I'm gonna pass out. So those little honey sticks have saved me, plus having protein bars and like nuts and stuff in my purse. So, you know, I've got all kinds of food in my purse just so that I know I'm not gonna die. Okay, so Christina, let me write it down right now. I will write down your, ooh, you know what I just thought? I could have just written my email on here for you. God. Go low tech, Tara, go low tech. Okay, so Christina, I'm gonna write your email here. Okay, so Chris 204060. Whoop 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 at gmail.com. Okay. All right, Christina. So if you want, you could probably delete your comment now, just so maybe other people aren't like trying to hit you up like, hey, Christina, what's up? um, okay, let's see. And Cosmic Jones is here. What's up? Um, and then Cosmic, you like totally caught me. What's up? All right. So, okay. So there was that book that I wanted to share with you guys. Like I said, this was the Kitchen Medicine book, and this is by Julie Brunton Seal and Matthew Seal. And Paperback Palacios. Hello, hello. Okay. So there are 3 books that I also got, but I haven't had a chance to read yet, but I can't wait to dive into them. And one of them is touted like a children's book, but looking at the reviews on Amazon, people are like, this is not really for children, because some of the stories in there are a little heavy, a little intense, maybe for little kids, maybe like teenagers it might be okay. But this is called Legendary Ladies. And this is by Anne Shen, and it's 50 Goddesses to Empower and Inspire You. And I thought this was so cool. It's really simple. So, like, let's say you turn to the page and it's talking about Freya. Yes, Cosmic, I love the artwork. And you like her kitties are pulling her chariot. That's so cool. Okay, so Freya, and at the top it has the origin. So it says Scandinavian. And then it gives you a little bit about the mythology. So I'll just read this part so you guys maybe have an idea of what this book is like. You know, I'll show you maybe some of the pages, you know, and maybe that might be something you might be interested in because, you know, I dig it. Okay, it says the Norse goddess of love and ruler of war and death, Freya is a beautiful sorceress who rides around in a cat-drawn golden chariot. According to her legend, she was born to mediate the conflict between two warring groups of Norse gods, the peaceful Vanir and the combative Aesir. She joined the Vanir hostages in Asgard, home of the Aesir gods, or Aesir gods, quickly won them over with her charm and established a spiritual peace. She wears a falcon feathered cloak that allows her to travel swiftly between heaven and earth. Enormous palace in Asgard, where they celebrated forever in joy and pleasure. Because of her beauty and love of pleasure, she was also famous for her sexuality in many of her myths. In one myth, she is obsessed with obtaining the famous amber necklace Brisingamen from the four dwarves who forged it. She loved the beautiful necklace the moment she set eyes on it, and the four dwarves asked that she pay for it by sleeping with each of them. Beauty for beauty. Call on Freya when you need the push to be bold and embark on an adventure to pursue your heart's desire. Okay, so it's just like a really brief like synopsis of the goddess, so it doesn't go into like tons and tons of detail, but you know, I think it's pretty neat. Yes, Cherry Bug is definitely, it's beautiful. And Cosmic Jones says, I gotta check out Cosmic Creeper's channel since we're both cosmic. Oh, you do. Okay, so let me just show you some of the pages here. Ooh, like we have Isis. We have Psyche. Oh, we have Gaia. We have Lakshmi. And I do work with Lakshmi quite a bit. Ooh, we have Pele. Oh, I love that one. When I was a kid, okay, so my dad's best friend, I thought for the longest time was need to add this to my Amazon wish list. Oh, well, here you go. Here you go. My dad's best friend, who I thought was my like blood related uncle forever because they always had me call him Uncle Mao, and like he was always over at the house, and he actually looked like my dad. Like they look like twins, you know, except my dad didn't have a mustache and my Uncle Mao did. And my Uncle Mao is originally from Hawaii, you know, his wife's Hawaiian, you know, and everything. And my dad had been to Hawaii, and so like everybody thought, because you know my dad's really tall and thin, but he's Filipino, so he's got, you know, he's got, you know, Asian eyes. And everybody just thinks that my dad's like Hawaiian, you know, or Korean somehow. But so when they'd see my dad and my Uncle Mao together, they would say they're brothers, and so I always thought my Uncle Mao was my uncle. And so my Uncle Mao would teach me about Pele, and you know, he would make me like little leis and stuff like that. I used to have like little Hawaiian dresses, you know, that I wore all the time, and I was like always dressed up to be like a little Hawaiian girl like when I was a kid. And you know, I had heard all the stories about Pele, and you know, how to respect her, and you know, things that you should never take from the island. Cosmic Jones says, I have like $200 worth of tarot decks saved for later in my Amazon cart. Yes, like, oh my gosh, you should see my wish list. It's like, but yeah, so when I say Lay, it made me think of my Uncle Mao, who's now passed away, but yeah, that was just, you know, it was so cool. And I remember when I was like little, I would tell everybody I was Hawaiian because my dad would tell me that. And then one day my dad's like, you're not Hawaiian, you're Filipina. And I was like, I'm Filipina? I thought I was Hawaiian. Isn't Uncle Mao Hawaiian? Yeah, Uncle Mao's Hawaiian. And I was like, so if Uncle Mao's Hawaiian, how come I'm not Hawaiian? And my dad's like, because Uncle Mao is from a different family. He's like your uncle, but he's not your uncle, if you kind of know what I'm saying. I'm like, he's like, okay, we call him your Uncle Mao, but he's not actually related to the family. And I'm like, oh, I was like, what? How's that what? Because like we were like, I could have sworn like all like those were my cousins, that was my uncle, and I was like, it was like such a shock to find out like he wasn't like really part of the family. Well, I mean, he was part of the family, but like not blood related. Let's see. A Cosmic Creeper said, "That's a lovely memory." You were like, "What? How does that work?" I know, right? Um, let's see. Sherry Bug, I bet I have 500 separate items in my save for later. Oh my gosh. I have so much stuff in my Amazon like wish list, and then I have my Etsy, like stuff is in my Etsy cart, but I just, one day I'll get them, but just maybe not right now. Arcane said, I had a cousin like that growing up, didn't even know we weren't biologically related until I was an adult. Yeah, okay. When I found this out, how old was I? I think I was a teenager. I think I was I think I found out actually when my Uncle Mao got sick. This was like right before he passed away, and he wasn't like old either. He was like in his 50s, and he was like, him and my dad were like workout buddies, so they were like super buff and like, super healthy. My Uncle Mao like never smoked in his whole life, like only ate like basically how they eat in Hawaii. Like he always just ate like fruits and veggies, and he would like sometimes roast a pig in his backyard. We do the like buried pig, and roast it, and it was so good. And we'd have like little luau's and stuff like once a month, and so healthy. And yeah, he ended up passing away from throat cancer, which was like, how do you, like, I was like, but Uncle Mao like never smoked. It was bad. But what was nice was that, he wanted his ashes to be spread like in Mission Beach, here in San Diego, where like off of Fiesta Island, where my dad and him and like all their friends used to like go swim and go party and just like lay out in the sun and catch a tan. And they would like always like oil themselves up with like SPF 2, because this is the 80s, and and nobody knew about like skin cancer back then. So it was like SPF 2, and everybody would just get like super dark. And I remember I would put on like SPF 2 because I wanted to be dark like my Uncle Mao and my dad. um, and let's see. Oh, I forgot to add a pineapple. Christina, have to go to my grandson's swim meet. All right. Well, you have fun, Christina. And oh, swim meet, make sure that you bring lots of food and a hat, because I know those swim meets last like forever. um, let's see. Arcane, most of the people I know that have died from lung cancer haven't even smoked. Yeah, that just like baffles my mind when stuff like that happens, because I'm like, we always get told like the horrors of, well, basically since I was as far back as I can remember, the horrors of smoking. It causes throat cancer and lung cancer. And I was like, well, how is it that these people who I know, like you said, who've never smoked, like die? So it's definitely very sad. And Cosmic Jones, I keep saying, when to say Cosmic Creepers, I'm gonna have to say Jones and Creeper. um let's see. Oh, and Arcane said, I didn't even use SPF. Baby oil for me. Yeah, I remember people using baby oil. Joan said, I remember no SPF days. Baby oil. Oh, Christina's getting from lung cancer and never smoked. I'm totally cool to be called Creeper. So yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, hippie therapist, but yeah, it's, but I have a lot of really awesome memories of my Uncle Mao. The only sad memory I have is that last time I saw him when he was sick. But after that, he didn't want anybody to see him when he was not able to walk on his own, and all of that, because he went kind of quick. But which I don't want to say is like a good thing, because that sounds harsh, but I didn't want my like my Uncle Mao to suffer, so if he was going to pass away from something, I want it to be fast. I don't want him to, have it drawn on and things like that. But it was quick. And yeah, he just had so many stories, and he was just so cool. So yeah, sorry, I got lost in Pele. Actually, that's somebody I'm gonna have to like go back and revisit, because I haven't worked with Pele actually since I was a kid. Baby oil and iodine. I grew up in Jersey and we would put aluminum foil on paper plates and baby oil to tan in the backyard. Holy cow. Yeah, I remember like my dad just, it was like the Hawaiian Tropic, I think it was. It was like dark tanning oil, SPF 2. And so I would put some of that on as well, and then I'd go play in the ocean. um Cosmic quick better. That's rough. The Pele memory is lovely. I liked hearing about your connection. Thank you. And the Jones said, saying bye to the wrong person. I think they knew what you meant. Okay, so who else do we have in here? We have Durga. We have Hecate. Or some people say Hecate. We have Kali. Oh, Mat. I'm not going to show you all of them, you know, because I have other stuff that I want to get to. Ooh, yes, yes, yes. Best. Hell. Oh, we have Sai Wang Mu. Sherry Bug said, I'm Nordic, Celtic, and Germanic. There just isn't much that will help me tan. Oh my gosh. I remember my mother is like, we used to joke and say she was clear because my mom's like half German, half Irish. And basically she was like always like when the sun would come out, you know, and she would have she has lots of freckles. I mean, I'm talking to my mom now, but she has lots of freckles, and it was basically like, it was like in the sun because the moment the light like touched her, it was like you could see her skin frying. Whereas like my dad, it's just like all day, every day, like me and my dad in the sun, just like I do use SPF now. From the neck down, SPF 15, just because my pores don't like a too heavy of an SPF. And actually, my skin gets jacked up when I don't see the sun. Like if it's been too long and I've been too covered up, like, you know, and my classroom is below ground, by the way, so I like don't see the sun for the majority of the day during a teaching year. Unless I'm coaching, then I finally get some sun. But I get like these weird like pimples and stuff when I don't see the sun, and the moment I give myself at least a little bit of sunshine for a couple of days, like they all go away. So it's like my skin starts to check, we need the sun. Sherry Bug, yep. Freckles, Cosmic, Jones, I don't tan easily, so I pull a Wednesday Adamants at the pool or beach. I use the highest SPF I can find many times a day when I'm out at the pool. Oh, well, for my face, I use like 50 or higher, because my boyfriend always says that I have whatever chimera or whatever, you know, where like I have two different like skins on my body. So it's like from the neck down, I've got like all my dad's genes with like, you know, there's like, you know, American Indian, there's Spanish, well, Spanish kind of pale in my family, but okay, we got Mexican, we got Filipino, so it's like, you know, I got like all of that, you know. There's Italian going on. But then like in my face, it's like so fair-ish. I mean, I get freckles, but they're weird freckles. They're just like, you know, on my nose and like here, so I like to keep the face out of the sun, but everywhere else can be tan. Let's see, who else do we have here? Just one more goddess. Ooh, Spider Woman. Let's see. Arcane says, I deal with acne problems and sun does help me a lot. I notice my skin gets better in the summer. Vitamin D is important. Yes. Sherry Bug, your skin is gorgeous. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Arcane, too. You know, it's just, my skin's just really happy and I like really glow when the sun is out, and when it's too many days of gloom or too many days of rain, too many days I've been indoors, like my skin's like, okay, we had it. We're gonna pack up our little glowy bags and we're gonna be out of here. Like, um, yeah, Apuvera, yeah, the artwork is awesome. So if you are interested in this book, it's Legendary Ladies by Anne Shen. So it's got a nice little foil front, which is kind of cool. So yeah, okay. Let's see what else. And Megawatt smile. Thank you. Okay. This next book was recommended by Lisa, or yeah, over at Supportive Tarot. And she was like, if you don't know who the Thug Unicorn is, or Tanya Marcoule, like she was like, you need to check her out. You need to check out her book. And oh my gosh, like what she says and her story is like my story. I was like, oh, so I was like girl crushing on her, and she is freaking awesome, and I love the way she writes. So this is called The She Book, and it's just really, really simple, really thin. Oh, so The Legendary Ladies is $11.97 on Amazon right now. Heck yeah. So the She Book here is tons of poetry. And so it's poetry for healing, for those who maybe have had a traumatic past, traumatic childhood, traumatic just life, and it's, honoring being a woman, and, problems and things that you may have faced being a woman, but also maybe having a shitty past. So the She Book is freaking awesome. Yes, Jones. I love me some poetry. So let me, well, I don't know, because this is like the type of poetry where you don't just like sit down like, I'm going to read a poem. It's like, oh, well, that's heavy, so you may want to journal about it and do some stuff. So this one, like, they're all just numbered, so there's no titles to these poems. So like one of them's called 92, 93, 94, like those, they're just numbered, kind of like Shakespeare numbered his sonnets, and many other poets and stuff have just like numbered their poems. Okay, so actually I'm gonna read, you know what, let's read 38 because I'm 38. I don't know why. Okay, so let's read 38 just so you can kind of get the gist of this book. It says, find the warrior within and listen to what she says. I am free. I am cosmic. I can change. I am beautiful. I am calm. I am grounded. I am worthy. I am ecstatic. I am capable. I am confident. I can follow through. I am electric and empowered. I am a winner. I am messy and imperfect. I can make nourishing decisions. I am not my parents or my society. I am an alchemist, creator, and magic maker. I am love. I am a sparkle in the dark. I am life. I am me, and is enough. Ooh, that actually hits. I had kind of a rough day a few days ago. So that's, whew. So Cosmic Jones says, OMG, I love it. Arcane, beautiful. And Apuvra, it's soothing. It is. It's, wow. Like, I had a really rough day. Uh, another one for the cart. Because, I'm human. I have my down days, and some of my days that are down are like really down. And so I was, I've been able to get myself out of my dark places. Sometimes when I was younger, it was harder to get out because it was harder for me to see the light because I was surrounded by so much muck, but now that I have, you know, consciously chosen what is around me, like even the physical things, the stuff that is around me, the people that are around me, is different now. So when I get into a place that is really dark, and I don't want to talk to anybody, and I don't want to, like I was like, no social media, like no nothing. I just went, instead of like holding myself up in a room like I wanted to, I was like, no, I need to finish the yard. And so just like working on the yard and like, working with the plants and, all the animals that came out to say hello to me, it kind of helped bring me out of that, since I'm a little more conscious to messages and things like that. And so, yeah, the next day I was fine, and now I'm fine. So it's like nice where I don't stay in that low point for like, you know, long periods of time. So it's nice that I can pull myself back out again. So this is very poignant indeed. Um Arcane, I added this to the growing wish list. Okay, I'll read you guys one more. Mm, ooh, does she have a 79? She does. Okay, we're gonna go 79 because my dad's 79. That's just how we're picking numbers today. You are the incubator, the reservoir, and the chalice well. You are the dream maker, the time traveler, and the sign that reads this way. You are the wild field of flowers, the rebellious lightning bolt, and the rich, fertile soil. And it doesn't matter if you are urban or country, frontline or back row, high strung or easy does it. You are the magic walking Middle Earth, and you don't have to give a fine damn about fitting in anymore. um, Sherry Bugs said, what a good book for bibliomancy. Yes. You know, I love me some bibliomancy. So this is going to be perfect for that. Wow. I'm gonna put that by my bedside tonight. I like that. And I also, I did a review like, I don't know, a few years ago, of the Medicine Woman Tarot. And the author, the creator, Carol Bridges, actually commented on my video like a couple weeks ago. And she was like, oh my gosh, she says, a fine damn, that's awesome. Yes. So she's like, do you have the actual guidebook for this? She's all, because the little white book was just something the publisher wanted me to, you know, put in there as like you need to put in a little white book. And she was like, that is so not like everything that's about my card. She goes, I went on Amazon, bam, I got the guidebook. I haven't had a chance to dive into it yet, but it looks freaking amazing. You know, like what I've really wanted, you know, out of this deck. So, oh, okay. I just like turned to a page. Let me see. Arcane said, oh, this deck, I have it on my list and I've been wanting it so bad. It's a freaking awesome deck. And Arcane, I don't think it's actually very expensive. So if you were, I mean, I don't want to like coerce you, but if you were like thinking, like maybe treat yourself this weekend. Creeper said, gee, that's awesome. The deck is my soul deck and that is so cool. She commented, legend. Yes. I was like, oh my God, the author saw my review. I get so like geeky. The guidebook is amazing. I did a review of it, a few bits, not for me, but mostly opens the deck way up. Yeah, that's what I wanted. I just wanted it to, like, I wanted to dive a little bit more deeply into the deck. Arcane, as soon as I get back to the States, I'm going to go nuts. Yes! Approvera said, I've seen the review in Cosmic Creepers channel. I feel I'll get it. Okay, okay. All right, Miss Jones is out. She says she's got a duck out for the dirty dishes, the laundry, and the whining dogs. That sounds like fun. Well, you know what? I say, because that's something I'm probably going to have to do. I did my laundry yesterday, but I still have to clean the house today. I say crank the music and just jam, because that's what I do. I play all kinds of music that I know the dude hates because he's not here right now because he's working, and so I just crank it to 11. And I sing while I work. It makes it go by so much easier. That or I listen to YouTube. All right, Cosmic Jones, I'll catch you later. Okay, so yeah, you guys can go, obviously go check out the review on Cosmic Creepers channel. But you know, you can check this out as well. Making sure I did not miss anyone. Okay. I need you to do some laundry too. Okay, so I turned to the page 5 Peacemaker. So it gives you the number in the meeting, 5 meditation, traditional name, the Hierophant, gives you the medicine woman, the peacemaker interfacing with the world, affirmation, I am the mediator between my God self and my world. I bring the within outward, recognizing that my presentation and the world's response are just. I am at peace with all outcomes. Wow, that was, didn't we just like listen to that stuff like in the 2 poems that I read? That's interesting. Messages abound. um, and then it talks about the card speaks. Ask yourself, there's an exercise, so some journal prompts and things like that. A meditation and a visualization. Arcane said, yes, we have a theme. There's an astrological sign, Taurus. Interesting. I was reading my tea leaves this morning because I had some green tea last night, and before I like went to pour the leaves down the drain this morning, I was like, I could read my tea leaves, and I saw the symbol for Taurus, so I thought that was interesting. More connections. Then there's foods and colors that would be connected to that card. So yeah, I think this is fabulous. I need to dive in more, so obviously I can't give you like a full, this is everything, because I haven't really read through it. But definitely Cosmic said that she Cosmic Creeper had done a review, so definitely check that out. Okay, what else? I was also gonna tell you guys that when I was having my down day, after I came back in from working in the yard, and I took a shower, and I was just like chilling on the couch with Wally, and Loki was nearby, and I was just, there's a window right next to the couch, so I was like looking out the window, and lo and behold, and I've only seen this bird once before, so this is now twice. It was a Ferguson white hawk. Like, white hawks just don't like hang out in this area. What's native to this area is red-tailed hawks and Cooper's hawks. And then of course we have ravens and crows and all sorts of other birds and things like that. But yeah, and so it was like gliding just like past the window, so I could get a good look at its belly and its wingspan. It's a big hawk, by the way. And I was like, and so yeah, it was like all day, like birds and butterflies and everything were just like, hey, they were like trying to talk to me, like, get out of your funk. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Pruva said it's very detailed. Yes. And Sherrybug, did you watch the vid Kelly Ann Maddox made of books that touched her soul? I bought like 4 after her video. I have that video, actually. Like, I'm waiting to watch that video because sometimes with her videos, because I love to listen to her talk, I usually play it like while I'm cleaning and stuff, so that might be like something I listen to today after I go and sing my head off first, like to some jams, and then I might put that on so that I can listen to it, and then I'm gonna have to of course add to my wish list. Sherrybug said a white hawk. Wow, I was given a woodpecker feather this week. Oh really? That's cool. Definitely, look into some, what does woodpecker have for you for, a message, and, looking into the medicine of that. That's pretty cool. I don't have like too many feathers. All the feathers that usually are presented to me are dove feathers. Although I have my red-tailed hawk's feather that I received at my feet, quite literally, on the last day of school this year. So I don't know why I'm shuffling, but I think it's because I need to pull a card for you guys from the Medicine Woman Tarot. So how much time we got? Okay, we're in an hour. Okay, I was going to do something pretty cool after this. Okay, so we have Power Lodge of the Pipes. Okay, Creeper said that's cool. It's a feather week for me too. I've been jokingly asking the local magpies to leave me a feather for months, and this week I was gifted one. Oh, that is so cool. I love when I was asking for like a year or two, like, please, like, red-tailed hawk, leave me a feather, and it was like, nope. And I was like, but there's so many of you, how are you not dropping feathers? And then I was like, okay, how about when there's a significant change going to happen in my life, drop me a feather. And well, there has been many changes. um, let's see. Sherrybug, my ducks give me feathers all the time. Aw. Mm. And duck medicine is cool. Just let stuff roll right off your back. Okay. So I wanted to actually, let's take a look at the guidebook now that I have it with this card. So let me go to the table of contents. Power Lodge of Pipes. Pipes, pipes, pipes. 179. Okay, so Wise Priestess, energizing others. So this is my peak of excellence in living a spiritual truth. I am able to give my wisdom to others who come my way. I empower others by encouraging their own talents and abilities, giving opportunity to the potential within them. As I observe the qualities of God within, I bring them forth. In my creative work, I have found you, Creator, living and giving life to all I do. My art is my heart, filled with love for you, and all who receive my art are thereby blessed. This work I give and beauty I live. I have expressed one quality of you. You are the power that has attracted all I love. I am the power of you. Wow, that's an awesome message too. Oh, I like, me like ski. I'm definitely gonna, gosh, they need to extend summer so I can like really like get into all of this stuff. Sherrybug said they are amazing and help in my arm heal. I go out and sit and they come up to me and they will pick at my arm brace or even pull the Velcro off. Oh my gosh! The ducks really are trying to help out. They're like, hey, let us in there. Let us help. Aw, that's so cute. Okay, a little bit more tea. Okay, so what I did in a live chat long ago, or maybe I don't know how long ago it was, I had all 3 of my bins of decks, and I asked you guys what bin of decks you guys wanted to look at, and some people were like, oh, choose that bin of decks. And basically I did a reading from each deck, kind of like my video I did where I showed off like all my animal decks. I did like a reading from each of them, so it was like pick a pile or pick a deck reading. So with this one, I have already pulled out a bin of decks, and so I just want to like, you know, like let's say show your tarot, do a little shuffle, pull a card, so not only do you get to see like what the cards look like, you know, in each of these decks, you know, if you are interested, but I don't mean to expand anybody's, you know, deck collection. Sorry, not sorry. But also if you're like, ooh, that's a pretty deck, you know, and then you're like, ooh, I want to get a message from there, you know, I'll just do a 1 card reading from each of the decks. I think I did that before. It's a little cray cray, but people seem to like me doing that last time, and so I think it would be fun for you guys this time. So as you can see, I have my bin of decks. Oh, and those are all my herbs, by the way. But yes, I have my bin of decks. Yeah, and I'm just gonna pull a card, and if you're like, hey, I want to get a message from that deck, then think of what your question is and then just be like, okay, that was my message, you know. So everybody of course is going to have different questions and different like what they want to get a message about, so we'll just go through deck by deck. So okay, one more sip of tea. And next to my tea, I have my garnet. I've been really hooked on garnet for like 4 or 5 days. Okay, so this first one is the Crystal Unicorn Tarot by Pamela Chen. So remember, if you're like, ooh, I'm going to be getting a message from that one, of course you can get a message from all the decks if you want. It's like totally up to you. But I'm just going to do a shuffle. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Those are the backs. And I'm just going to pull a message. just tuning in first. Okay. Ooh, we have the Seven of Pentacles. So to me, this is people who have been persons watching now or watching in the future, who've been cultivating something and have been getting really antsy about like, okay, I put in the work, like where's my reward, where's my, when's it gonna happen? And this is just a card just telling you just wait just a little bit longer. It's not that it's not going to happen, it's just it needs a little bit more time to cook, so to speak. So yes, the universe understands you've been putting in the work, you've been doing the thing. I think this is a message for me too. But just give it a little bit longer. Like, promise, like the results are going to be freaking awesome sauce. But you're just going to have to just wait a little bit. Okay, so that is the first message. So I'm just going to keep the messages really short because I actually don't know how many decks are in there. Sherrybug's like, okay. Epic card. I love unicorns. So went in for the first one. Thank yous. You're welcomes. Okay, then we have Tarot in Space, and this is by Laura Loop. And I had her first one, and I gifted it to my really good friend's son who was getting into tarot. And then the author sent me her new version so that I could do a review of it, and I love it. I love it so much. Okay, so, and oh, yay, Nagira's here. So it's right on for me. Thanks, you're welcome. Okay, so here we have Tarot in Space, if you are interested. These are the backs. Beautiful rainbow edging. Ooh. Very cosmic looking cards. Okay, here we go. Ooh, and here we have the, yeah, I know that edging, right? We have the Ace of Planets, which is your Pentacles. So I'm seeing, okay, depending on the hemisphere you're in, if you're in the southern hemisphere, obviously things are going into dormancy and, cold, sleep, things like that. And if you're in the northern hemisphere, things are heating up, things are, bursting to life, and some things, like, it's almost like bursting to flames because it's like so hot in some places. But it's everything is going to some sort of beginning. Even if you're in winter, it's not really an ending, it's just the beginning of dormancy. So this is all about beginning. If you're looking about starting something now as it pertains to your health, your home, your finances, now's like a really good time. So northern, southern hemisphere, it doesn't even matter. It's just, I don't know why I think of like Cheech Marin, but Cheech Marin's like better late than never, but but now's a good time. So yeah, so if you were just looking for a message of like, oh, well, I've been like wanting to do this like one thing, then do the thing. Like, you don't have to get it all finished right now, but like at least get started on the thing. Okay. Then yeah, there's a lot of decks. Okay. We have the Tarot de la Nuit, and I love this deck so much. Actually, I'm gonna look for a message for me too from this deck. What is my question? Okay, I have my question, but it's also for you guys too. So, oh, by the way, I forgot to show. These are the backs. And lots of beautiful, shiny cards, as you can see. Aha. Ooh. Eight of Cups. I'm just getting the, okay, it's time to nip those memories that you have that are holding you back from moving forward into you know, something that's more fitting for you, something more positive, by constantly reliving things in your past. You know, not to say you need to erase your memories, because we're not going to do that, but you know, holding on to stuff and saying, oh, but that's how I used to do things, and this is what I did way back when. You know, that's not necessarily who you are now. You need to live in the who you are now, because you've learned from your lessons, or you've decided you're not part of that crowd anymore, you don't hang out with those people anymore, you're not that kind of person anymore. You know, it's okay to have a memory of that, but don't cling to that memory as saying that's who you are now, because it's definitely not who you are now. You have evolved, you know, you've grown, you've grown more wise. So in order to continue moving forward, you just have to accept that certain things happened in the past, but that's where they need to stay. They need to stay in the past. Wow, that's a heavy message, but you know, this deck reads kind of heavily. So, woo. Okay. So again, that is the Tarot de la Nuit, Tarot of the Night. What else do we got in here? Ooh, okay. Well, we have two Banksy tarots. So, or the Tarot Banksy. One of them is the OG version. This one got sent to me by the creator because of the review that she liked from her OG one. So this one's like the prettier version. Oh, thank you, Nagir. Okay, so I'm gonna do an OG version of Banksy, and I'm gonna do a new version of Banksy, because this is all about what you guys want. Like, you see a deck and you're like, that's my message, then you know, we'll do that. Okay, so the OG version of the Banksy Tarot. Yeah, Sherry Bug, it is. Like, I love me some dark decks, but they have to be a particular type of dark. Here is the backs. It's a little shiny, as you can see. Used to have that like coating smell, has since dissipated as I have left them out for a long time. I like her new version too, but I really like working with this deck. Strength card. Do you know what song came to mind was Love is a Battlefield? Okay, so with that song in mind, probably because I see the heart and strength, love is a battlefield, is that you don't have to be the warrior god or goddess. Like, when it comes to love and certain things, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a battlefield. Like, you don't have to go into everything like all suited up in armor, like, I gotta protect myself and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna find love, because that's just that is way too much energy, like putting way too much energy into something that should happen organically. So maybe get out of the mindset of love needs to be some sort of battlefield. So this is obviously for relationships, then relationship reading, and more of the mindset of strength is in how I love, not that I'm forcing like my way into, you know, the dating pool, but it's my strength is that I can love. You know, I have so much to give, and that is your strength, and that's what you need to kind of go into things with. It's just that I have so much to give. I'm just kind of looking for others who match that vibration that I have, instead of like, let's date. You know? So yeah, love doesn't have to be a battlefield. Okay. Oh, Sherry, but great song. Yes, it is. But now I have that playing in my head, so I just gave myself my own earworm. Okay, so that was from the OG version of the Tarot Banksy. And now we'll go to the new version. And okay, so this is new version. Cardstock is a lot different. So as you can see, it's a mattier cardstock and has these beautiful silver edges. Okay, so if you're looking for a message from the new version, the updated version, the Tarot Banksy 2.0, then stay tuned. I was like, if I pull the same card, I'm gonna be like, what? But no, this time we got my favorite card with Darth Vader. We have the Hermit. Darth Vader, he just be listening to his boombox. He ain't got no cares in the world. So it's okay. You know, sometimes we feel bad if we feel like we're shutting people out, like it's taking me, you know, like I have texts to respond to, I have emails to respond to, I have like a friend that I have to call and stuff. Sometimes you just need to have your space. And it's okay to take that time. It's not saying like neglect all your friends and people you need to get back to forever. But you know, if you just need like 15-20 minutes to yourself, then take your 15-20 minutes. If your 15 or 20 minutes does include a boombox on your shoulder and just like freaking cranking some like old school hip hop, then like go ahead. Because it's not going to hurt anybody, but not giving yourself that time hurts you. So please give yourself that time. Oh, Sherrybug said, oh, speaking of shiny edges, did we end up getting shiny edges on the Wally's World? Yes, you did. You have edges that look just like my earrings. So that's going to be the edges of the Wally's World. Approvra, I'm so glad that you were able to get a good message from this. And Arcane as well. And Nagara, winter here in New Zealand. I'm in hibernating mode. Boombox included. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. You crank that boombox to 11. All right. I love cranking it to 11. You know, boomboxes should only go to 11. I think some old school ones only do go to 11. Okay. We have the new Ellis Tarot. So this is by Eleanor F. Piper, PhD. And these are your backs. They need to come back with cassettes. Yes, because I liked recording off the radio. I liked making my own mixtapes, and I'm so sad that like all my mixtapes, like I had a plethora of like cassettes of like my brother and I, like when we used to pretend we were newscasters and we would have guests on the show, which was us just changing our voices. Like I'm so sad all that stuff is lost. Like there's like there was a cassette of me like singing Danger Mouse, like singing the theme song to Danger Mouse, Danger Mouse, like when I was like 3. Let's see, Nagari said, oh, cassettes, such good memories. Mixtapes rule, girl, yes. And recording off the radio, Arcane, faux show. I was recording off the radio until I think I was my first year of college, I think. So that was like fall of 99, spring 2000. Cliff Richard got stuck in my boombox. Oh my gosh. So I think the last thing I had on cassette was it U2 when they collabed with Gwen Stefani. Yeah. And then there was like another one. Oh, who was it at the time? There was another artist. Like I was on this like Gwen Stefani like No Doubt trip since like the 90s when they first came out. And oh my gosh, I used to try to dress like Gwen Stefani. Like I did like the face jewelry and like the bindi and everything. And yeah, I used to like the fake like henna, like, you know, like fake tattoos like on my arm, so I could have like a band, or you'd have like the thorns, or you'd have the barbed wire. And sending tapes to friends instead of letters. Yes, I used to do that. Like my friends and I, we would exchange like mixtapes. Oh my gosh, you know, especially if like a friend was going through a breakup and like you would like put together like a mixtape for them. Arcane said, I remember getting my first CD player. I was about 12 or so, 1997. No doubt was so cool back then. I remember in middle school. So middle school was 1994 and 1995. Um, I remember us, like me and my friends, looking through like the paper or something. We were looking at CD players and they were like $200, like $100 or $200, and we were like, whoa, they're so expensive. And like CDs were like 20 bucks, like 20 or $30. And we were like, CDs are so expensive. But then that came down, obviously, when I was in high school. And I remember on my 16th birthday, I got my first CDs. It was, what, okay, I got Genuine and I got NSYNC. Those were my first, oh, and I got Backstreet Boys. Okay, so yeah, it was Backstreet Boys, NSYNC's first album, and Genuine. um, let's see. Hold on, I'm missing stuff. Okay, Arcane said I was super into pen pals and had tons, and we'd exchange tapes. I had a pen pal who I am now friends with on Facebook. We found each other on Facebook. She's in Illinois. We used to write each other all the time, and I had a pen pal in Germany. Sherry Bug's first album was Thriller. Awesome. I remember I used to have the viewfinder things. You know, you could put in like a little card and like you could view like little scenes, and I had that for Thriller, and I used to, that frame was coming up and I like close my eyes because I was like so scared when he was dressed as like a zombie or when he was like the werewolf with the like yellow eyes. Let's see. Okay, going back, Arcane. I used to have a tape of French music someone made me and Russian music from Russia. That's so cool. It took me a while to come. Yeah, I was like, for sure, I thought that CDs, I was like, oh, those are just gonna go away and everybody's gonna go back to mixtapes. So like, it took me a long time to actually like get a CD collection. Arcane, it was Pony, yes, because oh my gosh, like my whole high school loved that song. Like that was at the school dances. We used to listen to it before track meets, probably not appropriate, but you know. um, thank God I was overseas when the Backstreet Boys were popular. Arcane said, wild story. I had a pen pal when I was 16 or so, and she was from northern Russia. I came to Russia a few years ago to teach ESL, and by chance, I signed up for a site that helps tutors find students, and she was a manager there. That's so cool. And we'd lost contact for years. It was so strange. Oh, wow. You know, I have, okay, I'm gonna do another reading from here, but then I have a story for you guys. Okay, so hold that thought. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry if we've forgotten. This was the New Elements Tarot. So if you're looking for a reading from here. Oop, there's your card. It's the Four of Stability. So it's the Four of Earth. You know, actually, as I pulled this one, because we were talking about Genuine and Pony and Ride the Pony, I was like, it's time to party. You know, sometimes people as in myself included, like we're always like working, doing our thing, and we're like, you know, work now, play later. But I think that play later, you need to play now, and then you can continue working. It's okay. You don't need to like play later when you're like 100, you know. It's, you can work and play is the message that I'm getting from here. So don't have this mindset of, no, let me just like get all this work done and there will be time for celebration once I have reached my goal. You know, sometimes you need like some mini celebrations along the way. I don't mean you don't need to go like full on crazy where, you know, you wake up and there's like a goat for some reason in your house and your friends are all passed out and there's like, you know, a bottle of Jack on the floor. Like, and by the way, that's never happened to me, but I'm just saying things can sometimes get out of hand. Like you can have that party maybe when you've reached one of your like major goals, but along the way you can party, you can have fun. So have fun, don't forget, because it makes the journey that much more pleasant, you know. So that's what I am getting from here. Okay. Oh yeah, I had a story for you guys. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, Not that I've ever waken up with a goat in the room. We used to listen to that song at middle school dances, so inappropriate. The things like we used to listen to, it's like nowadays, like now I'm listening to what the kids now listen to, like my high schoolers and everything. I'm like, that your music leaves nothing to the imagination, at least back in my day when they talked about doing inappropriate things, there was some like fancy wording to it. You know, we talked about ponies and rocket ships and other things without saying it. You kids need to get back to basics. Okay, my quick little story for you guys. Yes, like The Hangover, I love that movie. Oh, I was trying to think of one of my middle school dance songs. Boys to Men was really big. So when Boys to Men would play in our like our 8th grade dance, everybody was like, ah! Like as soon as they came out, I'll make love to you like you want me to, which is just the song you want to see a bunch of like 13 and 14-year-olds dancing to, right? I'll make love to you. But we love that song so much. Arcane, I remember once singing I'll Make Love to You by Boys to Men at the store once while it was playing on the PA system or whatever, and my mom was like, stop. Oh my gosh. I'm like, I had a goat on my front porch one night. The neighbor's goat had escaped and I had to return it to them in the middle of the night. Oh my gosh, Nakir. I have a story about a bear on a front porch. It was eating somebody on the roof in the middle of a forest. But that's really like a way, like another time when we have like a lot of time to talk. I'll tell you about camp. When I was a camp counselor. Yes. Oh, camp counselor times. That was good. Oh, thank you. And Cherrybug has a bear story too. Okay, quick story before we get on to the next deck, which will be the Invisible Light Tarot. Love me this deck. Okay, so what grade was I going? I was going into 7th grade, so this was at the end of 6th grade. My mom was like best friends sort of like with the like choir teacher at the school, and I was in choir because, you know, I like singing and everything. And the choir teacher said that her niece was coming with her for a little while, and she was like, and you'll be going to middle school with her. And I was like, oh, okay. Sorry, it's my watch is like, you've been sitting for too long. I'm like, shh. Anyway, so so she's like, my niece is going to be coming in, and it would be nice if you would make friends with her, and then you guys can you know, like you could show her around Chula Vista, which is where I grew up, you know, and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay. And so the day like came, and then we were gonna have like our promotion or whatever afterwards. But she's like, oh, you know, here's my niece, and like so this is like way after school. I just remember she drove in and she had her niece, and her niece is like waving from like inside the car, and like, by the way, I've never met her niece like ever, and she's like waving, and I'm like, you know, because I like think I'm too cool, like as a 12-year-old. And so this girl comes running out of the car, and she's like, Tara! And she like opens up her arms, and she like runs and she hugs me so hard, and she's like, oh my God, I missed you. It's been so long. She goes, oh my gosh. She goes, like, my heart was breaking like when we weren't like hanging out together anymore. And I'm like, what? Like, and I asked like her mom. I was like, not her mom, but her aunt. I was like, I've never met your niece, right? And she's like, no, like she's always lived in, I forgot where she lived, like Ohio or something like that. And and I was like, that's what I thought. I was like, I think she has me mistaken for somebody else. And she says, no, it was really weird. I told her that you're getting a new friend. Her name is Tara, and she, you know, goes to this elementary school, but you guys are going to be going to the middle school together. And she was like, oh my gosh, Tara. And she was like, I'm like, do you know her? And she was like, yeah, like we used to be best friends like a long time ago. And she's like, okay, whatever, so she says, I don't know, like maybe, I don't know. She's like, I have no explanation. So yeah, she like would not leave my side. And she was so sure that like her and I were, like besties. Hey, Green Owl is here. Allo, allo. Yeah, Nagira, like maybe it's past life. I'm not 100% because like when she like and she would start calling me like every day, like, how are you doing? What are you doing? And she wanted to catch up. Like we've had so much to catch up on. And I was like, and her name's Tabitha. And actually she didn't end up living very long, which is pretty sad, which is why I remember Tabitha so well. But I remember she was just like, we've been together like before. And I was like, before what? And I was like, okay, I just want to get something straight. Like, I've never met you before. And she was like, you are so silly. Like, we've been best friends. We've been best friends forever. And I was like, okay, I know who my best friends are. And I'm like, are you from La Mesa? Because up until I was 6 years old, I lived in La Mesa. She's like, no, I'm not from La Mesa. I'm from Ohio. But she was like, but you and I have been best friends. And I was like, and she was just so like, for sure that I was her bestie and that she loved me so much. And it was like, and she had this glow about her. Like she was so happy. And like everybody just like, just came to her and like loved her. And in my middle school, like it was heavily like a heavily Hispanic middle school. And I mean, we had a few like African American, and there was like probably like three Caucasian kids, in our whole middle school. And so, like, if you weren't Hispanic, like a lot of, because we also had like gangs, like it wasn't really like a great middle school actually. I probably should have gone to a different middle school. So there was like a lot of gangs that had come in, especially from LA. And if you weren't Mexican and you didn't speak Spanish, like you would get beat up, for not being Mexican. So people would try to be as Mexican as possible so that like you wouldn't get beat up by like gang members. And so I always wanted to be protective of Tabitha because I was like, I thought for sure she would get beat up. But I remember like there were some like cholos that came by, and as she was sitting there and she was reading like a Disney, like it was like a Disney book. I think it was like Dumbo. She was reading Dumbo, and I told her, I was like me wanting to be like super cool in middle school. I was like, oh my God, like Tabitha, like put away that book. Like we're like almost adults now. Like we can't do that little kid stuff anymore. And she was like, why? She says, if you love a book, why would you hide it from people? And I was just like, because we're gonna get beat up. And I was like, because people beat up like nerds, and people beat up like, people who don't like look like everybody else. And she was like, well, they're not gonna beat me up. And I was like, and I remember these cholos come by, and I was like, oh my God, like we are gonna get beat up. And they're like, hey, like, what are you looking at? And she was like, oh, I'm reading Dumbo. She said, do you want to read it? And they're like, no, that's cool. What's it about? And so she's like telling them the story of Dumbo, and they're like, hey, that's cool. And she's like, all right, well, you have a great day. And they're like, all right. They're like, hey, you stay cool, Tabitha. And I was like, how do they know your name? Like, but like, she just was friends with everybody. Like she assumed nobody would hurt her, like nobody would ever be mean to her. And like everything was so innocent, like her outlook on everything was just so innocent. Like why would people want to hurt me? Why would somebody want to say something bad to me? Like she just didn't think that. And so people weren't bad to her. Like people were bad to everybody else, but like when it came to her, like everybody in the school like protected her. Every cholo, every chola, like every like hardcore kid that was always getting suspended, like would protect Tabitha. Like it was like for some reason they just like came to her, and it was like, this is a girl that we need to protect. And they wouldn't say anything mean. They wouldn't even cuss. And like, my God, like the swear mouths like on middle schoolers, like every word was a cuss word. But around her they wouldn't cuss. They would apologize if they bumped into her. Like it was, and she dressed to me like a little kid. Like everything was about like neons and brights, and I was jealous because it's everything I wanted to dress like, but I was afraid because I thought I would get beat up and I didn't want to like stick out, but it was like, and I wanted to be like her, and so I envied her. And and I would find myself, trying to, help Tabitha. um but let me go back here. So Arcane said, "What a sweetheart." Yes, that is like a magical power right there. She was such a powerful little girl. And so, well, gosh, like I don't want to like make the story sad, but like she passed away. Okay, so we went to school together in seventh grade, and then she passed away at the start of eighth grade. So that one was kind of hard. Actually, it was really hard. Actually, it's something that, is still something that, sticks with me today. So I get really, um, I don't know. It's something that, I still have to work through, because, yeah, it affected me a lot. I don't think, I think she made it to 14, but I'm not sure. I think she was 13 when she passed away. Um, but I remember she had told me that she had been going to the doctor because she had something in her ear. And I was like, oh, okay. And like, my mom and her aunt wouldn't tell me what was wrong. They would just say, you need to take care of Tabitha because she's going to need a little extra help at school. And I was like, okay. Like, I mean, you don't know. You're like 13. It's like she was an angel in the school. She was, And so I remember her telling me, I have something in my ear. I have something in my ear. And it's like affecting my balance. And so I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't quite understand like what was wrong. What ended up being wrong is she had a tumor at the base of her brainstem, and basically that's what killed her. But all I kept thinking it was something in the ear because that's what she kept saying. And so I remember like when she'd become very clumsy, but she would always just laugh it off. Like I remember her walking around because she was trying to dance like a fairy under the tree. And I was like, it's like at middle school. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm a fairy. And I was like, and she like tripped and fell because she was starting to lose like some of her motor skills. And I was like, oh my gosh, Tabitha, you're gonna like break a leg. And she just like started laughing. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so clumsy. And like, but she couldn't help but like laugh. And like but like not laughing at her, but like laughing with her, and so yeah. And then I do remember when they pulled her out of school, and I was upset and I wanted to go see her, and my mom said that, oh no, her parents don't want you to come see her. And I was like, well, why? I'm her best friend. And my mom's like, oh, because she's sleeping right now, so you don't need to come see her. So on purpose, her aunt and my mother thought it was best to protect me, by not allowing me to see my friend when she was ill. And then my mom's friend, her aunt, did tell me, she's like, Tabitha's been asking for you and she wants to know if you can come see her. And I was like, yes, I want to. Like, she kept asking for me. And my mom's like, no, because we have this to do or we have that to do. So my mom kept saying, no, 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 because my mom said that whatever. Now, I mean, this was later. She told me that my grandmother had told her it's best if like a child doesn't see another child ill, so just keep her from her friend. It's just the best thing to do. And I was like, that was the crappiest thing to do, actually, because like now I have like this whole like closure thing that like never happened. so so yeah. And then I remember when eighth grade started, I was sitting in class. I don't even remember what class I was in, and I just had the image that she had passed away, and I felt like I felt her soul, and I burst out crying, and I was just crying my eyes out. And the teacher is like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, get out of class with that. And I was like, oh my God. And it was like, go to the counselor's office, because like the teachers had like zero tolerance because there was so much fighting and there was so much stuff at the school that they couldn't handle an emotional child. So it was like, get out of here, go to the office, and I'm like, okay, so I'm going to the counseling office, and the counselor was just like, why are you crying? And they're like, because there's nothing to cry about. And I was like, because I was like, my friend died. And they're like, do you have proof that your friend died? Who is your friend? And I was like, Tabitha, I gave the last name. Oh, she doesn't go to school here anymore. And I was like, I know, because she got sick and she got pulled out. And I was like crying. I was like, you don't understand. She died. And they're like, there's no way you could know that. You're just being emotional. You're making things up. And maybe you should go back to class. And I was like, so I demanded that they call my mother. So they called my mom. My mom's like, you're hurting your education by not staying in school. And I was like, I don't care. I was like, my friend has died and I can feel it. And I was like, and you need to pull me out of school right now because I don't want to learn right now. So my mom pulled me out, and she told me I was being ridiculous, that Tabitha was just fine, and blah, 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 lie, lie, lie. And when I was in high school, this was like, I think I was like a sophomore or junior. And maybe I was a junior. My mom told me, she was like, remember that day back in middle school, that you were crying, blah, 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 and you carried on. And I told you that there was absolutely nothing to cry about. Well, I talked to your grandmother about it, and your grandmother says that I should tell you that what you were feeling was not real. That would just be the best thing for you. It would just like save you, like it would help you if you thought that the feelings you had weren't real, because nobody could know that somebody else had died. And she was like, I had gotten the call that day that your friend did die, but I didn't have the heart to tell you, and I didn't want you to be sad. I was like, well, if I was already crying, why didn't you just tell me? And my mom's like, well, I just wanted you to think that she was perpetually going to be okay, but you just couldn't see her. And I was like, that is like the dumbest thing. So, yeah, so I have a lot of like emotion and closure issues with my friend because I did want to go see her and I did feel her pass. And the fact that I was told that I was making it up and that it wasn't real, like, that's why I like always like battled with like my gifts, because I was told for so long that things weren't real, only to be told later that I was like correct about everything, so then I'm like, how does one like, work with that? So so yeah, oh my gosh, I didn't mean to like get you guys so sad, but just I go off when I think of Tabitha. I miss her a lot. She was a sweetie. Like, she really was a little angel on earth. And just, and sometimes I always feel like, I'm such like a crappy person like compared to her, because she was like so like sunshine. Oh wow, I have missed so many of your comments. Hold on, let me go back. um Nagara said she shone brightly while she was here. She did. And Cosmic Creeper, she really was a sweet soul. Arcane said, I can understand that. My sister always had a lot of health problems, and once she got a big surgery, a rod to help her back stay straight, and seeing her after the surgery was so traumatizing. Sharebug said maybe I could do a ceremony for her. Yeah, because I've done a lot of work where I've sat with her and I have had like contact with her spirit, and it's interesting because her spirit doesn't come to me as like a 13 or 14-year-old. Her spirit comes to me like my age, like, because we're the same age. So it's interesting, when I see her much older now. But yeah, I've only been able to like pull on her spirit a couple of times to talk to her, but that's been like kind of nice. Okay, I think the internet's back. I think we're back. Okay. So Arcane said sometimes parents try, but we don't always make the best decisions when we're faced with those big moments. Yeah, and I understand, but it's like, when it's, I don't know. I guess, I know that my grandmother, who I love like so much, like, who's now also passed, I know that she would never try to hurt me, and I think that was just her way for, telling my mom, say, this is a way for my granddaughter to not be hurt. I understand, but at the same time, now as an adult, I have some closure issues. Lady Knight said, I'm so glad my family never doubted me in these things. Yeah, and it's like, it's interesting because my family, um, My family is there's a lot of gifts that run in like both sides of my family, and people have spoken about their gifts. And people have said some stories, and people are like, oh, that's interesting. And it's like, it's okay to tell these stories. But at the same time, I don't know, there was this like, I don't know, like we believe, but then we don't believe. We have some stories, but then it might not be real. You know, it was like this, oh, but there was this one person that could do this one thing in the family, but that was real. But maybe this is not real. So it was very contradictory in my family where it was like it was okay, but then it's like not okay. And my dad's mother, my nana, she was the only one who was kind of like, sure, open it up. That's, she would tell me about seeing spirit and that it's okay because it's just natural, to see spirit, to make like, elixirs and to work with magic. Like her, it was like no big deal. She was like, because she was like, well, for her background, had, the Spanish and the Mexican and the Native American, and to her she was like, that's just how we've always worked in my family. And she was like, and your grandfather, she goes, your dad's dad, she says, when he came from the Philippines, like he was basically, translation, he was a healer in the country, and they're like they were taught generation to generation to do, how to practice healing methods. And so she says he would always whip something up in the kitchen if something was wrong, somebody got hurt, somebody had a bloody nose, somebody was sick, somebody wanted to keep bad neighbors away or something. Like he could just whip something up in the kitchen and he would like, give it off. And so she was like, he and I always worked with magic. She goes, so she couldn't understand why my dad was so like against all that. Like he was like, nope, I don't do any of that. Oh, but sometimes I see dead people, but maybe that's not real. So I don't know. My household was a little funky. um Arcane said, I am a parent. Sometimes it's hard when those big themes come up because it can be difficult to know the right way to move forward. I usually try to stay honest in those moments. Yeah, and like honestly, when because stuff's come up like with my students, and the principal will tell us like things we can and cannot say, to protect the students, or, let's not tell them about this. And, so I understand, that there's that wanting to protect somebody is obviously coming from a place of love and not malicious, like, oh, because I want you to have issues later on. That's like not it at all. I understand that they were just trying to do what they thought was best with their knowledge that they had, so I understand that. I'm like not mad at my mom or grandma for that. It's like frustrating because it's like the part that frustrates me is not the protecting me from knowing my friend passed away, but the telling me that what I felt was not true. That part kind of like hurt. But everything else, like the whatever, they were just trying to help. Cosmic Creeper said, I'm so sorry I have to go now, but sending you a ton of love, and we will hopefully catch up again soon. Yes, and I will have to catch one of your lives on the Instagrams because I like watching those. So yeah. um, and Priyanka is here. Hello. Yes. Okay. So I know we got off track, and bring the mood back up again. But yeah, one day if I ever have Tabitha's picture out, I will show you guys, or maybe I'll post it on Instagram because she had such a beautiful smile, these big blue eyes, and this like gorgeous blonde hair, and she was just so happy. Okay, so we probably forgot now that the deck that I have in my hands is the Invisible Light Tarot, and it's got kind of like a matte, I don't know, like a matte silver edge. And so yeah, I'll just pull you guys a message from here. So if you're looking at this deck and you're like, okay, I got a question, think of your question, and then the message will come here. Okay? So if you're just joining us, I've kind of been slowly going through my bin of decks that I have here. And like once you see a deck, I'm just going to pull one card for each deck. And if you're like, ooh, I want a message from that deck, then just have the question in your head, and then, then whatever's pulled is the message for you. Okay, so we have, I kind of thought it was going to be this one, the Eight of Earth. Oh, Rose David said, watching this while recoloring a pastel version of the Rider-Waite-Smith. Thank you for the wonderful vibes. Oh, you're welcome. For sure, for sure. And I like the, like, cool, like, because this was, these pictures were taken by film camera, so I love the film that was used. But the Eight of Earth here, I'm kind of feeling like this, you know, whatever that you are working on, I'm seeing this as more of like a personal development than like somebody who's like doing something at a job or like a project that you're working on. So this is more like a self project, like a something that you're working on. And I'm seeing that it's to like, don't quit, don't give up on it, and don't like put it off for something else, but to continue because you are making progress. I do see headway being made. It's just, this is acknowledgement that yes, it's not a pleasant journey. You are going in the right direction to gain whatever it is that you're trying to gain. Like some people are trying to gain healing, some people are trying to gain knowledge, but you're headed on the right path. It's not an easy path. They understand this, yes, but they also ask that you please don't put it off to the side or give up on it. So again, this is more like a personal development journey. So yeah, that's a pretty message. Okay, I have to plug my phone in real quick because it's got the low power mode. Oh wow. Ooh, almost 2 hours. Okay, I only have a few decks left. Okay, my phone is now charging. Yay! Okay, so I'm gonna put this away. And this is by Brandy Eve Allen, if you were wondering. So the Invisible Light Tarot by Brandy Eve Allen. Okay, the next deck is the Star Child Tarot. Yay, yay. And of course they have their cool matte gold edges. These are the backs. Very beautiful pastel cards with sacred geometry and wonderful collage elements. Okay, so let's get a message going. Excuse me. It's the team. And Priyanka. Okay. Ooh, we have transformation. Okay, so for this one, I'm getting the feeling that whoever maybe was looking for a message from this particular deck, that the transformation this is talking about, so instead of it being like death transformation or transformation and that, you know, I see the world differently, you may, but I see this more as there might be abilities. And remember when I talk about like psychic abilities and all that stuff, to me that's very natural. You know, I think that it's as natural as breathing. Like every being on this planet was given psychic ability, not because it's some weird like woo-woo thing, but it was meant for survival. And like it's just supposed to meant to be this, you know, very, you know, natural thing to be able to see beyond, you know, this realm. So this transformation that I'm seeing is that some of those, or a ability, or some of those abilities that may have been lying dormant within you, have maybe as of recently, like a week ago, maybe a couple weeks ago, have risen to the surface. And now you're just kind of like, oh, like, what do I do with this? Is this even real? This is confirmation that what has been changing for you is real, and it's nothing to be afraid of. Like I said, I just see it as natural, just like when animals know when an earthquake is about to happen, or you know, birds will start going crazy in the sky like right before a storm. You know, it's like that. They have the sense, and it's what's helped them for survival, and it's the same for you. It's just, you know, our senses are a little bit different. So to, not be afraid of this transformation that maybe is taking place, but just try to see what you can learn. The more you learn, the less people are fearful about certain topics. So the more somebody's left in the dark about something, of course, we can be very fearful of it. So I would say just try to read up as much as you can on it, talk to other people who maybe have had similar experiences. Watch, a lot of YouTube, I tend to learn a lot of stuff from YouTube and listening to other people's stories and things like that. And just really educate yourself on these new things that, you've kind of been able to do, but are really noticing somewhat of a difference in being able to do. And I think that will take the fear out of, this ability or abilities, just because you'll be able to understand more, through people, through things you read and things like that. So awesome transformation. So for whoever that was for, that's great. I wish you well on, your gifts that have come to the surface or have opened up for you. Again, nothing to be scared of. It's just part of the evolving process that we all go through. Okay, so yes, Star Child Tarot. Wow, there's a lot of decks in here. Okay, next one is the Druid Craft Tarot, and this is by Philip and Stephanie Carr-Gomm and illustrated by Will Worthington. Yes! More tea. And oh, Jen the Taxidermy Witchifer is here. Oh, thank you. And I adore the Wild Unknown. Yes. Oh, is my Wild Unknown in here? That is in. Oh, the Wild Unknown is actually my cards of the day. That was my thumbnail that I took a picture of. I had it's the Wild Unknown, like the Spirit Oracle deck, and then the Animal Spirit deck, and then it's the my Wild Unknown Tarot, and I like putting those together. Yeah, it was on the thumbnail. I love it. Okay, so what I'm doing is I have a bin of decks off to the side here, and I'm showing you guys the decks kind of where I'm just picking a card from each deck, and what you guys are doing is just kind of like thinking of a question like, ooh, I'd like to get a message from that deck, and so the card that I pull and the message that I give goes to your questions. So yeah, so just, have a question in your head, but this one is the Druid Craft Tarot. So if you're interested in getting a message from here, just have a think on your question and the message will come. So I thought it's just kind of a fun way to show off some of the decks. Okay, that card flew out. That card is definitely for you guys. And these are big cards. Oh yes, I love when I get this card. This is me too. I read with a combination of the Wild Unknown and Animal Spirit deck, the Wild Unknown Tarot, and the Thoth deck. Yes, those two go together very well indeed. We have the Fool card. So, like, of all the cards in tarot, like the Fool card is the most fun because it's about like, not everything, and sometimes it's cool like not to know everything right now, and you get just have fun in the the newness of something. So if you're starting off on something right time, or maybe you're diving into the kitchen, and you've never really like cooked, other than something instant, and you're like wanting to dive into recipes and stuff like that, whatever new adventure you're on, have fun with the journey is what I'm getting, because sometimes it's a lot more fun to be at the beginning than it is to be like at the top, because when you're at the top, people are less likely to want to try this or try that because I've done this for so long, and people get stuck in their ways. But when you're starting out on something, it's so much more fun and it's so much more freeing, and you have so many more options available to you. So if you were looking for an answer or a message from this deck and you got the Fool card, good job. I get the Fool card often, because, well, I like to have lots of options. So have fun, relish in the next is the Moon Power Tarot, and this is by Charlie Quintero. This deck is a lot of fun. It's very sassy too. So if you're looking for a little sass in your question, this might be for you. This also has a kind of muted gold edging, which I think is cool. These are the backs, very shiny. Pull a card from this deck. There we go. I was looking for that one. Okay. Ha! Do not fear, my friends, the tower. And I've heard lately that the tower's been coming up for people, but this time around, I feel like people aren't fearing the tower. And I don't think you should fear the tower either. Because what it is, you know, sometimes, and I speak from like myself as well, we want a certain thing to happen so bad, and we don't know how to get that certain thing, you know, because I have this and this and this and this, and it seems like I can't get out of these responsibilities and these things that I do in order for me to obtain this, you know, and so it's like I don't see how. And so when the tower comes in, it's like, okay, girl or dude, dudette or dude, like, we heard you, and we're gonna come in like a wrecking ball. They're gonna be like whatever, semi-naked Miley Cyrus on a wrecking ball, and they're going to knock crap down so that your goal is that much easier to obtain. So if the tower is coming in for you, see that as freaking awesome. Be like, thank you, wrecking ball and semi-naked Miley Cyrus, for knocking down the things that needed to be knocked down so that I could obtain the things that I've wanted for so long. So I think that's pretty freaking cool. So I have learned to love the tower, because whenever the tower comes in for me, it's always been favorable. I mean, it's always at first been like, what is happening? My world is crumbling around me, because it's the tower. But then afterwards I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is cool. All right, well, peace, tower, thanks. It's kind of like that. Okay. So if the tower came in for you, good job. All right. Priyanka's like, yes. Okay. We have the Housewives Tarot. This is by Paul Keppel and Jude Buffum. So let's see if any of you are looking for a message from the Housewives Tarot. These are the backs. Got your awesome color-coded suits. Okay. Lady Knight says, I was waiting for this one. Yes! Okay, here we go. Aha. We have our card. Our card is the Strength card. The Strength card, I think, has come up one other time already in, what deck was it? Oh, it was the Tarot Banksy. So here we have the Strength card again. Okay, but the Strength card means something a little bit different this time around. This is for the procrastination. We've all been guilty of it. I'm guilty of procrastination right now on a couple of household chores, but this doesn't necessarily have to deal with chores, but just procrastination and doing something in general. And so this message is coming in saying, okay, you have had your little time off. You have procrastinated. You've had some fun with that, but it's time to get back on track. Okay. You know stuff's got to get done, and the more you wait, the more you're gonna dread it. So you might as well just bite the bullet and go. I mean, it's not gonna be as difficult as you think it's going to be. It may be a lot of work, but not hard. It's just probably like a lot of like work, but not like hard work, you know. So procrastination time over. Time to get her did. Time to get her done. So yes, That's what this strength card means this time around. I like that message. Get her did. Get her done. My friend used to have a poster up in her bedroom. It was like one of my friends from high school, way back when, and it said procrastination, the art of keeping up with yesterday. So at all, change comes from bad. Yes. In Arcane, I need the message every day. So yeah, procrastination, the art of keeping up with yesterday, but let's get into today. All right, now we have the zombie tarot, and this one is by, oh, Stacy Graham. Oh, no, this is Stacy Graham, a Headcase Design. Who is the author? I suppose if I look at the guidebook, I can find the author. Actually, I haven't busted out my zombie tarot in a while. Okay, instructions by Stacy Graham, card illustrations by Paul Keppel and Rolf Gironi of Headcase Design. Okay, there we go. I knew there was a connection to the Housewives Tarot. Okay, so these are the backs of those cards. And whoa. I don't know why I haven't busted out my zombie tarot in a while. I love the zombie tarot. Well, actually, I love every deck that I have. Otherwise, I wouldn't have it. Once I'm like not feeling a deck anymore, I always just like gift it or do it in a giveaway or... Yes, the black one. Because I always want to make sure that decks have a home where people are going to use them and love them. And I'd rather mine don't sit around collecting dust. Okay, we have our message. Ooh. The Lover's card, and I love how it's depicted here. Let's see, he's got a bottle of perfume because she obviously stinks because she's, hello, a zombie. And yes, she has ripped the heart right out of his chest. So what I'm getting for this, usually I don't like think of like actual like relationships when I pull the Lover's card, but for this one I am getting like an actual relationships thing. And so what I'm getting for this one is, you know, sometimes we think, you know, if I'm looking, you know, if this is for people who might be looking for love. So if you're like in the dating pool and you're looking, maybe you're doing some online dating, maybe you're going to places where people meet, like doing some speed dating, maybe you're, you know, go to the local pubs or something like that where, you know, other singles might be meeting up. And this card is coming to say, do some of your favorite things that you like to do and places that you like to go for that. Like maybe you like to go just walk the mall, but you don't actually like to buy a lot of things. You just like to walk the mall because it's maybe genuinely a really nice mall. For me, I like to walk Fashion Valley Mall because it's an outdoor mall. I get to be in the sun. I get to people watch. For me, that's fun, and I usually don't buy anything. It's also pretty expensive at that mall, but I just like to walk around there because it's a nice outdoor mall. So do the things that you like to do kind of like that. Maybe you like to go dance in the park or, you know, whatever it is, because love possibly will be coming in one of those types of places, in a very unexpected place. Like you may not expect to run into the next person that you might end up having a relationship with, you know, at the bowling alley because you genuinely love to bowl. You got your own bowling ball, you got your own bowling bag, you know. Like you're really into bowling. And Yang is here, hey! So, you know, just do your hobbies, do your things that you like to do that are, you know, out of the house, you know, obviously because you want to get out there. But yeah, I'm seeing like you might be finding possibly a possible new relationship in the in an unexpected place. Hey, Jenny! Sherrybug, I think that's excellent advice. Let's see. Where did I meet the dude? I met the dude in college, but we did not start dating in college. We didn't start dating until 6 years later. We were friends for like 6 years first. Like he always had his same girlfriend. I was always dating my random slew of D-bags. Until I met the dude. No. And yeah, it was kind of, I don't know, it was interesting how like him and I got together because we were just friends, like, and although yes, I had the hots for my friend, I of course would Jenny's like D bags, yes. I I never, like he always had a girlfriend, so I'm okay, me being a girl, like, if somebody were messing with my boyfriend, I'd be like, that's disrespectful. So I'm not one of those girls that will like hit on a dude who I know for sure like has a girlfriend or is like attached, with somebody because that's like disrespectful to the girlfriend. So even if like I didn't like her all that much, I didn't think she was like the best for him. I mean, I could be biased, but I still would, I never like gave off hints of like, hey, I like you. We always just were like buddies. And then, what was it? Okay, it was my uncle's funeral. I know this is like awkward. It's like at a funeral. My uncle had passed away. I was really like torn up about it, so I called the dude up because he lived in the area where I was gonna be, because I was living in Orange County at the time, and my family, of course, and everybody lives in San Diego, where I'm from. And so I was like, hey, I'm gonna be in town, there's a funeral today. I was like, but after the funeral, I just want to go. I said, let's just go to a dive, and I just want to have a drink because like, I'm having a rough day. And he's like, sure, like, why not? And then I think, what would be cool is if I hook my guy friend up with my best girlfriend. So I call her up and I'm like, girl, I got this dude you gotta meet. Even though like I like my friend, but I'm like, whatever. And he was newly single, so I thought I would be a good friend and try to hook my good friend up that I like, known since high school, like with my dude friend. And so we go to this dive. Like it was a dive. Like woo! When I ask for a dive, I get a dive. And we're waiting around. Okay, my friend is 3 hours late. We were there for 3 hours and she's like not showing up. I'm like messaging her and calling her because the phones like weren't too great back then. I mean, there was like no smartphones yet, so it was still like flip phone stuff. And so I'm like, where are you? Like 666-997. You know how we used to text, or you have to press the number multiple times to get your text going. And I'm like, where are you? And she's like, I don't know. Should I have my hair up or should I put my hair down? I was thinking, do I wear the jeans that show my butt or like do I wear my bell-bottom jeans? Because I really like want to be relaxed. And I was like, girl, if you don't get here, he's gonna just like give up. I was like, I want my bestie with me. I had a hard day. So we're waiting, right? We're just sitting there and we're just like drinking some water. And because I didn't want to have a drink until my friend is there. So then the dude's like, well, why don't we just have a drink? Because my friend said she's on her way now. So it's like, okay. 3 hours later. And we're just like, he gave me an amaretto on the rocks because I love amaretto. And so, it has the little tiny stir straw, but I like to sip out of the little stir straw. So I was like, I had like one little sip. I was like, and he had like a beer or something like that. And we're just sitting there and I was like, oh my gosh, my uncle's funeral, my uncle's death has got me thinking about my life and thinking about what direction it's going. And I definitely don't want to live in Orange County anymore. And this guy that I'm dating, like, he's such a D-bag. Like, I don't even know why I'm with him. It's like, he's just like, I would say he's using me for my money, but I only make $19,000 a year and somehow I'm the breadwinner. Like, I was like, and I was thinking maybe of like getting back into teaching and like maybe I should like go back my lifestyle and this like, and then, okay, I have to plug my phone in. Hold on, because my phone literally internal battery. Okay, so I'm gonna bring the Moonchild with me. Here we go. We're going on a journey, you guys. Ooh. Okay. sorry, we did some laundry. There's some laundry back there. Okay. And Wally's in his hammock. Okay, I have to sit here because this is where the cord is for the phone. There we go. Okay. All right, we're charging now. Okay, so we're going through, okay, back to story time. So, oh, sorry, I need to make sure it looks like I'm wearing a top so I don't look naked on camera. Okay, so, I'm just going through this whole, like, I'm having a life-changing crisis. I'm 25, like, you know, and then all of a sudden, I don't know what came over me because I'd never expressed my feelings to the dude before, but I was like, da 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 da, and you know, and I don't know why I'm with this dude. I need to break up with this dude, and like I'm like, he's a d-bag, and you know, it's like, and you know, I don't know if I want to sell bamboo anymore. I think I want to go back and be a teacher because that's what I got my credential in. I was like, and you know what? And it's like you, like I've always, dude, but like I've always loved you, man. I was like, but it's like, I can't date my friend. And he's like sitting there like with his beer. He's like, awkward. And I was like, so yeah. I'm like, aren't you gonna say anything? I mean, I kind of just poured my heart out to you. That's kind of, I feel really awkward now, like awkward starfish, you know? And he's like, well, I think you've had a really rough day. And then who comes traipsing through the door but my friend who I was gonna hook him up with. So yeah, they end up talking and she thinks he's really cute. So like she gives him her number. And then he like doesn't ever call her. So my friend's getting mad at me. She's like, man, that guy's such a jerk. Like I thought I was getting really good vibes and then he's like not calling me. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And then in the meantime, a good friend of ours who's, I don't know, like not our good friend anymore, but he used to be a good friend of ours, had like called me up and he was like, he says basically the dude had called him and said everything that I had told him. And he was like, so do you really like him? And I was like, yeah, but I have a boyfriend, so I'm not going to go like cheat on my boyfriend. And he's like, if I could get him to confess how he actually feels, because, you know, he's not one to break up a happy togetherness, but are you really happy with the dude that you're with? I was like, heck no. Like I was thinking of breaking up with him today. And he was like, okay, good. He's all, if I can get the dude to tell you how he feels, will you break up with that D-bag today? And I was like, oh, I was like, this isn't high school. We don't go calling and having mediary friends. And like, I was like, no. So he hangs up. The dude calls me. He's like, sup? I'm like, sup? He's like, so how's the weather over there? It's pretty hot here in San Diego. I was like, it's pretty cool. So we ended up talking and I was like, so anyway, I'll catch you later. So I like hung up and Sherry Buck's like smooth. I was like, I know. Sup? So that day, that night, I go to break up with my, like, he was such a douche. Like, like, I don't know. It's because, like, whatever, low self-esteem Tara was with him for, like, whatever reason. But then I was like, wait a minute. I have self-esteem. I don't need you. So, yeah, anyway, so I broke up with that guy. I don't know. I don't want to like, well, anyway, the breakup was kind of funny, but anyway. So then, yeah, afterwards, like I moved my stuff out of my ex-boyfriend's place. I moved in with my dad for like a week until I could get a place with my friend who's now my bestie, and I like moved in with her friend for a little while, her friend from Transylvania. She literally was from Transylvania, and yes, she did have a picture of Vlad the Impaler on her wall, who she admired very much. Interesting. girl. She's a nice girl. Uh, we were roommates and so the dude and I were like long distance relationship for like a year. And then after that year was up, because I wanted to finish up at the preschool slash bamboo store slash suit store I was working at. I worked at 3 jobs because I was trying to save up enough money so I could move down to San Diego. I was at my dad's temporarily, and then, I went back to Orange County, and, so I worked and worked and worked my butt off for like a year, like working 7 days a week, night and day, to save up enough money so I could come down to San Diego. Came down to San Diego, moved in with the dude, after a year, got my teaching job, and the rest is history. And this November will be 13 years together. And 6 years as friends. So technically we've known each other like 19 years. Okay, so let's see. Sherry Bug says, girl, we've all been there, I think. Yes. And Jenny said, awesome story. Wow. Yes, it's like, I don't know, we have a it was interesting because a lot of things had lined up, for us to hang out, and, and for me to spill my guts, and then like, the whole breakup, and it's like everybody just kind of came out of the woodwork. Hey, do you need a place to stay? Why? Did you hear I broke up? No, I just thought maybe you'd need a place to stay. Like this weird like coincidence of events of like, let's make Tara's life easy now. Let's stop crapping on her dreams. Okay, I'm gonna pull from one more deck for you guys, since I left my bin of decks in the other room so that I could plug in my phone, because the battery was dying and had chewed up the external battery because we've been on here a hell of a long time. Okay, last one, and then we'll call it that for a day. I've had a lot of fun sharing memories and just having chit chat with you guys. And yeah, I'll do a little healing at the end. Little good vibes, little good juju sent your guys' way, and I hope that you guys have an awesome Saturday afterwards. So, if you're looking for a message from the Moonchild Tarot, this message is for you. Oh, P.S. Love the edges. Oh, Sherry Bug, I'm so glad you like my goofy stories. I have so many goofy stories. The dude loves to hear my stories. He's like, I've known you basically almost your whole adult life, and he's like, you literally have stories I've never heard before. Like, he says, you just have like a whole life of stories. I'm like, I'm the storyteller. I love to tell my stories. Some of my stories are crappy and can be laughed at now. Some stories are because of my not smartness. Okay, so we have, again, the Ace of Pentacles. This came in another deck. Where else did we get the Ace of Pentacles? Okay, I forgot, but I know it's not the same. Jenny said, after 19 years, you still smile and giggle like a teenager. I do. Like, we still kind of joke about, like, when we were in the dorms and stuff like that. And I remember, okay, I will read this. Give me just a second. I remember there was one moment I was in the dorms, and we were in a co-ed dorm, meaning there was like an alternating suite of like guys and girls. And so he was in the suite next to mine. And we all used to go to the dining hall together. Like, we'd all go eat like dinner together or breakfast together or lunch or whatever it was. And so we were all gonna go have dinner together, our crew of people. And I lived in the international house, so all of our friends are international. So, we had friends from like Argentina and Australia and Japan and Korea and, Greece and, Oman, like all over the place. And so, like the hodgepodge that we were, we would all go to dinner. And so I remember him coming out of his room, and I was standing at the top of the staircase in the dorms, and I was looking at him, and I was like, and I was contemplating my life. Again, I was having one of those, what is my life gonna turn out like? Me at, how old was I at this time? I was probably like 19. And I was like, oh my God, like my life, like I hope I'm gonna pass college, and everything college kids like freak out about. And I was like, I wonder what my life is gonna be like. Will I go back and live back home in San Diego? Like, you know, will I even pass college and da 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 da? And I was like, and look at that guy. I mean, like, he's so hot. Like, I don't know if he would even like see me as like cute at all. Like, one day, wouldn't it be so weird if like we got married, because like that's just how life turns out? It's like, pfft, that would never happen, because he probably doesn't even think I'm cute. Like, yeah, so yeah, I remember that from a long time ago. That's when I was like 19. I remember that like very well. Like, he's so hot. What would he even want with me? Like, he looks like a young Val Kilmer. Like, what does he want with me? I'm like tall and doofy, and like I run kind of funny. I mean, I run really fast, which is why I'm on the track team, but I run like a racehorse that doesn't have its legs straight, and you know, I'm like, what's a guy want with me? Okay. Serious face. Okay, reading. Okay, I had to throw that in because that memory popped it in my brain. And I just think it's funny because it's like, oh my gosh, like where we are now. And I remember having that thought like so long before we even started dating. Nagara's laughing too. Okay, so Ace of Pentacles. I have to get myself back into what the Ace of Pentacles was. Gosh, it may be like the last Ace of Pentacles, sort of, in the no time like the present. Like I've been getting like this time theme, like with all these cards. But this one is like, you know, you may have already been pulling together like resources and like getting all your ducks in a row, so to speak. The Ace of Pentacles says, dude is so hot. Yes. This also says the dude is hot. And oh, by the way, I like that my ring kind of goes with what's on the hand. That's kind of cool. Yes. Okay. Anyway, but you know how people like to get things lined up and they like to begin a project? It's like, okay, you have everything lined up like threefold. Like everything has been lined up. You know, it's the start. You got to just start. You got to do it. Everything's ready to go. You know, the car's already warmed up. You know, it's full of gas. You know, it's time to go. Your bags are packed. Now it's just time to go. So time to get started. Everything's already there. You've been preparing. You don't need to prepare anymore. I know you've been in preparing mode for like quite some time, but no need to prepare anymore. Now is action mode. Time to do mode. So yeah, all right. So thank you guys for joining me in this very long and rambly live chat of books and poems and happy memories and sad memories and goofy memories and just all around talky and sharing in a reading from each of my lovely decks that I had in the other room. Yeah, so this was fun. I'm yeah, I always like, you know, just hanging out with you guys and just having a little chit chat. I'm trying to think if there's like one more awkward thing I wanted to send you guys off with. Because I always have a lot of awkward stories because, well, the dude says like my middle name is awkward. So, oh, Lady Knight, thank you. Let's see. Nagara said, what a cool chat. Worth getting up at 5:30 a.m. Oh my gosh. You need to go back and take a nap. 5:30 a.m. is not my jam. 5:30 a.m. and I'm just like you feel like your eyes are bloodshot as they try to open and you're like, but why? But why, son? But why? Alarm, damn you. At least that's me every work morning. Anywho, okay, maybe one more little story and then I'll do a little healing. You guys don't have to stay for the healing by any means. You know, I always have the intention that the healing reaches you if you're open to it. You know, I'm never going to bombard anybody with my energy at all. You know, it's just if you want to be open to it, then, you know, just you can say it here, you can say it out loud, you can say it in your brain, just so that you know that the energy is open. You can say, or I want this healing for my friend or for my dog or my bird, or I want the healing for the people in this country, or wherever you want to send the energy, you could do that. So okay, I will do the energy healing. Let me just think of maybe one more like funny story at my expense for you guys before I go. Let's see. Let's think of little awkward Tara. Let's see. Oh, I think I've told you guys this story before, but it is funny. Okay. Oh wait. Yes. No. Yes. Okay. No, this one. Okay, it's a different little awkward story. I've told you guys the other awkward story I was thinking of. Okay, this one, since we're talking about dating, Tara, okay, so there was this boy I was dating when I was like 10. Green Owl said, I think I would buy the soundtrack to your movie. Oh my gosh, the soundtrack. You know what? I should put together the soundtrack of my life, and I could post that to Instagram. Oh, Green Owl, you have a great idea. Okay, so I was dating this boy when I was 10, if you can call it like really dating. I don't think my parents considered it dating. Otherwise, my dad would have been against it because I wasn't supposed to date till I was like 50, according to him. Anyway, there was this boy that semi-moved like just a few houses down the street. I lived in a cul-de-sac, and I forgot his name, which is sad because, well, no, he wasn't there that long. Like his parents had moved in to this house that had was being sold, and what his family does is they come in and clean, and they clean the pool and everything. So they lived there for like a week. So I think I dated this boy for like a week. Or maybe it was 2 weeks. I don't know. I don't remember. I was 10 years old. But I just remember he would come over to the house, and he always wore this like same striped shirt every day. And I thought his shirt was cool. And he used to wear his father's cologne because he thought it made him smell like more manly or something, or maybe grown up. And so, but I like the smell of the cologne. I'm pretty sure it was Polo, which is my father's cologne. Not great when I guess a guy smells like your dad, but that's a lot of issues there. Anyway, so he like he would have his like arm behind his back, and he'd knock on the door. He's like, and then like my dad went out to the door. He's like, "What you want?" Because that's just how my dad answers the door. And I'm like so embarrassed. And he was like, "Hello." He's like, I was going to say Old Spice. Yeah. Yeah. My dad comes to the door wearing sunglasses indoors, because that's how my dad rolls when it comes to any boy coming to the door for his daughter. He wears sunglasses indoors. So my dad will rip open the door. "What you want?" And this little boy just standing there. "Hello, I'm Tara's friend, and I am her boyfriend. I was wondering if Tara could come out and play." And so my dad was like, "Oh, yeah." So like, so then he'd let me go out, and my dad's like, "And you just remember, when those street lights come on, back inside." I'm like, okay. So my dad's like, so I'm like, okay. So I'd hang out with this boy, and I remember we were trying to, like, he told me he had magic powers, and we were trying to out magic power each other. And I remember we would just sit on the wall, like in my driveway, and we would just sit there. And I remember he looked over and he was like, "Did you see that bee right now?" I'm like, "What bee?" "It's because I have vision that's 200 times better than the average human being." I was like, "Really? I can see the bee?" He's like, "I can see the bee." "Do you see what it's doing now?" I'm like, "It's with the purple flower." He's like, "No, it's on the white flower." "Okay, well, it was on the white flower, but now it's on a purple flower." Like, we didn't see crap, okay? Like, we were trying to pretend that we had like superpowers. So and then he's like, "I can see a lady feeding her child. It's like 10 miles away though. I was like, yeah, I could see it too. I have magic powers too. He's like, cool. And then we would grab our like little twigs and, and twist the leaf. Hey, before I do a healing for everybody, I'm leaving everybody with like a goofy story of like me and this boy I dated when I was like 10. And so we were like trying to do like magic powers. And so at one point we, like he told me he could fly, and he would just like tell me, he's like, hold on, let me show you that I can hover. And basically it was just him getting up on his tippy toes. He's like, whoa, I'm starting to float away. I'm gonna come back down. I was like, I could do that too. And I'd be like, oh, I come back down because I can fly too. He's like, cool. He's like, I can fly. We both have like really far vision. He's all, but do you have x-ray vision? I was like, I do have x-ray vision. He's like, that's cool. He's like, you're actually the coolest girl I ever dated. I was like, yeah, you're pretty cool too. I didn't know anybody who could have x-ray vision like me and that could fly. He's like, yeah. He's all, can you speak in like different languages? I was like, yeah, I know like 5,000 languages. He's like, me too. I know like 6,000 languages. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I remember like it was just so goofy, and we would take these little branches from trees and they would be our magic wands, and we would like throw our magic powers like everywhere. And so yeah. That is like super cool, me being super cool with my super cool 10-year-old boyfriend. We could both fly, and we had x-ray vision, and we had vision that was 200 times better than the normal human. And yeah, we had our magic wands that we would make. And we knew like 5,000 languages. So yeah, and I was so sad the day he had to go, because I remember he was like, well, I remember they had like, it was like a pool truck, like I just remember it had pool stuff in it, and he's like, well, this is like the last day, my family's got to go. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just have to fly to your house and like see you sometimes. He's like, yeah. He's all, oh, I forgot, but my magic power is when I fly, you can't see me though, but it's for invisibility purposes. Like, he's all like, it's so people don't see a flying like boy in the air, you know? I was like, oh yeah, okay, so yeah, when I come visit your house, I'm gonna fly too, but like you can't see me because I'm also invisible. And he's like, okay, that's cool. I'll know when you're there though. I was like, yeah, I'll know when you're there because, or here, because like I just know that stuff. And he's like, cool. And so we're like, okay. So this is how you say goodbye when you're 10. You pound it, you twist it, you lock it, and then you like kiss your hand and you kiss their cheek. And that's how you say peace out when you are 10. Pound it, lock it. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the stories today of my goofiness. The hippie therapist said that's so adorable. Jenny says so cute. Nagara, so funny. Both of you, very cool. Yeah, so it was, oh my gosh. Like, you know, in my brain, Sherrybug's dying. In my brain, I used to think I was so cool. I'm like, my gosh, you were such a dork. And now I'm like, because I'm like so cool now. I'm way cooler. So anyway, yes, Green Owl, to you too. Anyway, so here we go, you guys. If you want some of this juicy healing energy goodness, you just have to be open to it. You don't have to stay here in the chat. You can go about your business. I realize I don't want to take all of your Saturday or morning or evening or whatever time zone you are in. And yeah, I'm wishing you all a wonderful weekend. Have a great week. I already have a list of videos that I want to make for next week. I think that you guys will enjoy them and they will be fun. And yeah, and I hope you guys are enjoying the awkward readings I've been doing. I've been having fun with readings. Like I still want my messages to be like real readings, but I'm having fun. Like, so like for my monthly reading for July, how I used Wally and Loki and they gave you guys a reading in the Wally and Loki voice. I thought that was fun. And then yesterday on Instagram, you can see there's like a lot of stuffed animals back there, including Larry the lobster. Larry the lobster gave a reading on Instagram as well. So I want to do like more readings with like the stuffies and the kitties. Like real readings, but like, you know, make it fun. Okay, so here we go, you guys. All right, guys. So just a little good juju for you guys to have, and hopefully felt nice. And just want to send you guys some good vibes. So yeah. Ooh, now I'm a little lightheaded. Jenny said, blessings everyone. Thank you. You're welcome. I got my first crystals, went to a farmer's market, and I felt the energy right away. That's awesome. You're going to have to share them on the Instagrams. I want to see your crystals. Lady Knight, you are so welcome. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. You know, it means the world to me that I get to hang out with you guys and just kind of chit chat and share stuff and have a good time. So I really do appreciate it. And Greenhouse said cheese cubes and sunshine. Ciao for now. Oh yes, cheese cubes and sunshine. That is perfect. Sherry Bud's arms were tingling. Oh, yay, yay, yay. I am sending a speedy recovery for your arm as well. And yeah, like I said, I have some good videos lined up for you guys next week. You know that if you ever want to catch a reading from me, one that's like a little more in depth, you can head to my website, kittensweightsandtarot.com. And those Wally's World Oracles are on their way to me. So they're already gingerly making their way across the ocean. And yeah, that's going to be a fun process of packaging and putting together all the pre-orders and all the Kickstarter homies that supported me. And I can't wait to just hold it in my hands. And you guys will be the first to see. As soon as they come, I will show you guys. All right. So I was wishing you guys a wonderful weekend. And yeah, peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Bye, guys.